After rebirth, I took the initiative to put the divorce agreement in. David threw the agreement aside without even glancing at it, and said coldly, "I won't give you custody of my son." "I don't want custody," I responded calmly. David looked up, her eyes full of surprise, as if to confirm whether I was sincere. David had been entangled with him for most of her life until her son grew up. But on his wedding day, she said in front of everyone, "I hope my mother can help my father and Lynn aunt. Lynn, it's not easy for my aunt to live with my dad for so many years." My thoughts drifted back to the present. 8-year-old Benjamin was lying on the ground and throwing a tantrum. "I won't do my homework no matter what, even if you force me." He looked as if I couldn't do anything to stop him. This scene happened almost every day. I asked him to finish his homework before playing, limited him to watching TV for no more than half an hour, allowed him to eat fried chicken and hamburgers only once a week, and set many rules for him, hoping that he would develop good habits. However, all this happened in the past. Linda appeared, and it became a complete joke. Benjamin was full of accusations. "Lynn auntie never asks me to do homework, she just plays with me. Lynn my auntie wouldn't stop me from eating chicken legs. She said boys need to eat more to grow taller. I don't like you at all. I hope Lynn auntie can be my mother." In my previous life, even though I was heartbroken to hear these words, I still chose to forgive. I naively thought that he was just young and ignorant, and he would naturally understand my good intentions when he grew up. So, I still forced him to study hard, urged him to exercise and eat properly. When he grew up, he graduated from a prestigious school, founded his own company, and married a wife who was well matched with him. But on the wedding day, when the host asked him to thank his parents, he once again said to me in front of all the guests, "I hope you can help my dad and Lynn aunt. Lynn, it's not easy for my aunt to live with my dad for so many years." Linda cried like a pear blossom in the rain, as if all the years of forbearance were rewarded at this moment. And I, standing on the stage, seemed so redundant and ridiculous. "Mom, you have forced me to do things I don't want to do since I was a child. If it weren't for Lynn auntie was secretly giving me warmth and encouragement, but I would have been ruined. You and Dad have no feelings for each other. Why do you still occupy this position and make everyone unhappy?" I don't know how I walked out of the house in despair. Benjamin's wedding scene. I only remember that after I walked out of the hotel, I was hit by a car for running a red light, and then I was reborn unexpectedly. Looking at my naughty son at this moment, I nodded, "Okay, I won't do my homework." Benjamin, with a look of surprise, he looked up at me and asked, "Are you serious?" "Of course," I answered calmly. "Then can I continue watching TV now?" "Not only can I watch TV, but I can also play on the tablet." "Then can I eat potato chips while playing?" "Whatever you want." "Why are you so nice to me all of a sudden?" Benjamin's face was full of surprise. I smiled but didn't say anything. I thought, this ungrateful person is not worthy of my sincere treatment. "Are you afraid that I will only like Lynn auntie, don't like you anymore?" "I will grant you whatever you want in the future," I said word by word, "including your favorite Lynn auntie." Satisfied Benjamin after all the unreasonable requests, he became more and more lawless. The first thing he did when he got home from school was to play with the tablet. He would play with it while eating and would hold the tablet tightly before going to bed. If he couldn't get up from playing too late at night, I would not wake him up and let him sleep until he woke up naturally. After waking up, he would go to school if he wanted to, and I would not force him if he didn't want to. I would provide him with all the snacks he liked. The servants couldn't stand it and kindly advised me, "Madam, you are ruining the young master by spoiling him like this." "How could that be?" I laughed sarcastically. "I am forcing him to do things he doesn't like, and that's what is ruining him." However, these days didn't last long. Benjamin's abnormal behavior caused dissatisfaction in the school. The head teacher called me and said Benjamin he went against the teacher in class and said something outrageous, "My parents don't care about me, so why should you care about me?" "I'm sorry, I really can't care about him. If you have any questions, please contact my husband." I gave my number to my class teacher, then hung up and went back to get my beauty treatment. When I got home from my beauty treatment, I saw my husband who hadn't been home for years. David appeared in the hall. His face was gloomy and his voice was full of sarcasm. "Mia, your methods are getting more and more sophisticated. In order to get me back, you even started to use my son. I really want David to come back. After all, it's useless for me to call him. I can't remember when we changed from a couple who were in love and married voluntarily, who shared joys and sorrows and started a business together, to the hostile relationship we have now. After the company stabilized, I stepped back and chose to stay at home to take care of my husband and children. I devoted too much energy to my son, and when I realized something went wrong, he had already cheated on his wife with a new intern in the company. Linda was 20 years old, young, energetic, tender, and charming. I accidentally saw David's chat records with her. David said, "You remind me of my wife when she was young. She was as pretty and lovely as you then." "What about now?" Linda asked, and sent a cute curious expression. "Now she has gained weight. Sometimes when I am intimate with her, I feel a little tired." I never thought that David thought that way. I had a big fight that time, and I felt that my self-esteem had been insulted like never before. I was determined to get a divorce from David. David disagreed, explaining that I was just teasing the little girl and asked me not to make a big deal out of it. Both parents also tried to persuade me, saying that the child was only 2 years old and asked me to not get involved with her this time for the sake of the child. David also swore that I would never be with Linda again. He even fired her immediately to show his loyalty to me. David indeed, there is no Linda. I even began to reflect on myself, whether I was really so focused on my child that I neglected David, and also neglected myself. I tried to change myself, but David's body cheated. I received Linda sent by her and David when I took the photo of the bed. I was in the hospital taking care of a patient with a high fever. Benjamin suddenly had a high fever and convulsions. I rushed him to the hospital and called David, but he said impatiently, "Enough, Mia, I'm just out for a business dinner. Don't force me to come back with all kinds of excuses." I was alone in the hospital. Benjamin received at midnight. Linda, the photos she sent were extremely explicit. She said, "Mr. David," she said, "you're still ugly even if you lose weight. You're not as delicate and cute as me." At that moment, I realized that a man's cheating is cheating, and there is no difference between mental and physical cheating. I filed for divorce again. David, no more rejection, but insistence. Benjamin, it must belong to him. But then, Benjamin is everything in my life. I gave him all my love. He is only 3 years old. He is full of me. Without me, he can keep noisy until dawn. I can't abandon him. I also thought about going to court to fight for the custody of the child, but I have been unemployed for these years and I can't win the battle. David, our marriage was entangled like this. He refused to give up the custody, and I insisted on having the custody. Benjamin, growing up, I seem to have gotten used to this broken marriage. Sometimes, habit is a terrible thing. David had an affair with him, but I still spent half my life with him. Fortunately, God gave me a chance to be reborn. I opened the drawer and calmly handed the divorce agreement to David. The moment he saw the agreement, he smiled sarcastically. "Mia, I thought you had figured it out. You haven't been making trouble for so long, but now you're doing it again? What else do you want? Isn't the money I give you every month enough?" "Not enough," I answered. "How much do you want?" David asked generously. "Half of the company's assets." "What are you thinking? Mia? Are you insane?" David was furious. "We founded the company together, and it's our joint property after marriage. I asked a lawyer, and half of it belongs to me." "And then what?" David said impatiently, "Unless we get divorced, these are all marital property. So am I not talking to you about divorce now?" I gestured for him to look at the divorce agreement. David, with a sneer, he threw the agreement aside without caring. "I won't give you the custody of my son. I don't want it." David raised his eyes, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. "Have you figured it out?" "I have figured it out." David impatiently picked up the divorce agreement next to me and read it carefully. I didn't ask for any more property except what I deserved. Benjamin's custody rights were given to David. David, with a frown on his face, he put down the agreement and said, "Mia, don't regret it. Voluntarily giving up custody means that you can't see your son without my permission. I know. Once we divorce, I can't remarry you, not even for our son. Sign it. I don't want to have to deal with him again." David, nonsense. If I hadn't been able to see him all this time, the first thing I would do after being reborn would be to divorce him. David, seeing my firm attitude, he signed his name in a cool manner. "Mia, this is all your own fault. If you hadn't kept forcing me like this, for the sake of our son and our friendship, I would have let you be my wife for life. Madam, you are the one who doesn't know how to cherish it." "Who cares?" "You care," I said indifferently. David, maintaining a marriage is never about David. The title of madam is purely due to the bond of blood. "Pack your things and get out of my house." David threw the signed divorce agreement to me. "I have already packed my luggage and am waiting to David divorce." I turned and went upstairs. Benjamin also followed David. We came back from school together. It is said that the teacher asked him to reflect at home for 2 days before going to school. He has been hiding in the corner and eavesdropping on me and David talk. When he saw me leaving, he quickly followed me. "Are you really going to divorce your dad?" Benjamin asked me. "Are you happy?" I said calmly while carrying my luggage. No one will care about you anymore, you can do whatever you want. Aren't you afraid that after you divorce Dad, no one will want you anymore? Who told you that? I looked at him funny. Grandma and Dad both said that. Benjamin with a calm face, he said, she said you are not worthy of Dad, and that no one would want you after you divorce Dad, and you don't even dare to divorce Dad. I laughed when I heard that. David, I have seen through what kind of person he is. I didn't expect his mother to be like this. She usually pretends to be a good person, saying that her son is wrong in this and that in front of me, saying that I have worked hard to take care of the child. It turns out that behind her back, she just treats me as a free nanny for her grandson. Of course, it doesn't matter anymore. They will all be insignificant people in the future. As long as you really don't care about me anymore, and don't care about Dad and Lynn Auntie, I will help you plead with your father and ask him not to divorce you. Benjamin negotiated with me. No need. I touched his head and said gently, take care of yourself in the future. Because from now on, his growth will have nothing to do with me. I left with 2 big suitcases without looking back. I moved to a well-decorated house that I had found in advance, near University A. I was preparing for the postgraduate entrance examination and re-education. Me and David, he was my college classmate. In order to start a business with him, I gave up my qualification for guaranteed postgraduate study. After my business was successful and I had a son, I focused on my family again. I always felt regretful that I didn't get a master's degree or a doctorate. After my rebirth, I deeply realized that people have to live for themselves. No one will empathize with you. David, the next day after returning to the villa, I saw Linda. She added me on her own initiative. David, I'll accompany you on New Year's Day. David, attend together. Linda, she said my earrings were beautiful, added me on WeChat, and asked me for the link. Linda, she actually has a pair of earrings like mine, but they were not bought by her. David, today, her circle of friends read, poverty limits my imagination. Is such a big backyard for playing football? She also attached a picture. David, the purpose of the photo was, of course, to announce to the world that she had openly and David together, I am no longer a mistress. I gave them a thumbs up, a bitch and a dog, forever and ever. I just gave them a thumbs up. Linda, he took the initiative to chat with me privately. Mia's sister, you don't mind me posting on WeChat moments, right? David, she insisted that I post it, saying that I had been wronged for so many years. Linda, in order to stimulate me, she would send some of her and David intimate photos of David how much I love her texts, and then calculate the time to cancel them, adding a sentence, sorry, I sent it to the wrong person. I was really irritated by her actions and lost my mind. David, the final result of the quarrel was that I and David, the relationship between us became worse and worse. He basically never came back. Benjamin's birthday, also with Benjamin go and Linda together. And every time Benjamin went Linda there, they would say, Lynn Auntie is so good to me, she is gentle and beautiful, I want her to be my mother. Now thinking back, I don't know how I endured it in my previous life. Fortunately, the hurt was deep enough, so I don't have the slightest regret. I smiled and replied, how could it be? Didn't I give you a thumbs up? You did it for David, did you see it? Linda, identify me and David divorce, just out of spite. I don't want to bother with it anymore. There's no need to waste time on such a person. Linda, after blocking her, she sent me another message, you forgot to pick up something. Impossible, I check every day, there is no way I would have forgotten anything. Linda, then he sent me a photo of a box of condoms. I replied generously, I'm giving it to you. They're all expired. Linda, he sent a mocking expression and added, I haven't used up the things from a few years ago. David, I use several every day, and I can't buy enough. Isn't that just right? I don't want the garbage, but you like to recycle it, so it can be regarded as recycling. I was unusually calm. Who are you calling garbage? Linda, I instantly angered her, and when she was typing frantically, I blocked her directly, saying out of sight, out of mind. Linda, after that, my circle of friends was much clearer. Without the outside world's interruptions, I also devoted myself to preparing for the postgraduate entrance examination. Until a month later, I suddenly received a call from David. He asked right away, Mia, where have you been hiding? Why are you pretending if you don't want a divorce? It's too late now. Then I remembered that today is the last day of the cool-off period for divorce, and I should go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce certificate. I'll be there right away. After hanging up the phone, I didn't dare to delay for even a second, and drove straight to the Civil Affairs Bureau. David, when I appeared, there was a sarcastic smile on his face. When we went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register for divorce, we agreed to arrive on time at 10 o'clock this morning. Now it is 12 o'clock and the staff of the Civil Affairs Bureau have all gone off work. David, he said contemptuously, Mia, when you asked me to sign the divorce agreement, I told you that it was useless to regret it. What are you doing today? We must get a divorce. Okay. I agreed immediately. I have to thank you. If you hadn't taken the initiative to give up your position, I wouldn't know. Linda, you are so good at taking care of children at such a young age. Linda, after coming here, my son has been very well behaved. David. Congratulations on marrying a good wife. Still being stubborn. David, I was so disappointed that I was afraid that I would waste time. David, he lost patience with me and just walked away. But I really didn't want to waste any more time on him. Mia. David, she called out to me from behind because I was leaving so quickly. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. If you regret it. I drove away, unable to hear her David one more word. After regaining my freedom, I became more motivated to study. In addition to reading books every day, I also insisted on exercising to avoid being sick like in my previous life. After more than half a year, after unremitting efforts, I finally succeeded. Benjamin called me and asked me hesitantly, Mom, do you miss me? I answered honestly, no, because I'm busy. Today is my 9th birthday. He seemed a little disappointed. Happy birthday. I smiled and wished him. Don't you want to spend your birthday with me? Your father said that I can't see you alone without his permission. Then can't you ask your father? Benjamin, a little excited. No. Why do you have to be angry with Dad? Actually, Dad. I won't say anymore. I have something important to do. I hung up on my own initiative. Benjamin, this was something that would never have happened before. Every time I talked to him, I would wait until he hung up before I put down the phone. See, there is nothing that cannot be given up, as long as you are disappointed enough. One late night after I finished my graduate studies, I suddenly received a David, I didn't block your phone number. David, because I thought he would never take the initiative to contact me. In fact, it has been more than a year since the divorce, and he is indeed a qualified ex, as if he were dead. When I was half asleep, I didn't see who was calling. Hello? Mia, I won't give you another chance. David, a cold voice. I was puzzled. Is this person possessed by evil spirits? Linda, she's pregnant with my child, and I'm going to marry her. He said proudly. Congratulations. Although it was annoying to be woken up in the middle of the night, I still gave my blessing politely. David, he sneered and hung up the phone. I didn't take it seriously. If I hadn't received it, David and Linda, I was wondering if they sent the wrong wedding invitation. But my name was on the invitation, so of course, I didn't have to go. I just threw it away. Benjamin called me and asked, Mom, why haven't you arrived yet? Where? I didn't react for a moment. Lynn, I didn't say I was coming to my aunt's wedding. But didn't Dad send you an invitation? I came early in the morning to save a seat for you, why didn't you come? Benjamin, the voice was already tearful. I was calm and said, I have other things to do and can't come. Thank you for saving the seat for me. Now give it to someone else. I was about to hang up the phone. Are those things more important than me? Benjamin, I was very upset and asked. I thought about it and answered seriously, yes, more important than you. You are not important at all. After rejecting my son, David, another call came. Mia, I and Linda, you are not comfortable with marriage. Do you think it is fun to take it out on your son? What? I was puzzled. What did you scold your son just now? He is crying all the time. I didn't scold him. I explained. Don't make excuses, you just can't stand me getting married, Linda, so she took it out on her son. At this moment, my mother tongue was speechless. Do you admit it? David, seeing that I didn't say anything, he said coldly, it's too late now, it's useless for you to regret it. Linda, after hanging up the phone, I also blocked him. David and Linda, after we got married, we had no more contact with each other. But within a month, David, suddenly I appeared at the gate of University. I was just coming out of the lab and leaving the school with my senior. We were discussing the lab data along the way. Suddenly I saw David with Benjamin waiting for me at the gate. How did he know I was studying for a master's degree? David, the moment he saw me, his eyes were fixed on the person next to me. I seemed to see some anger in his eyes, but it seemed to be an illusion. He said sarcastically, I was wondering why you didn't want your son anymore. It turns out you have a new lover. Mia, does the other party know that you are married and have a son? I haven't spoken yet. Brother James the first took the initiative to answer. I know, I heard that her ex-husband was a scumbag. Do you know him? I couldn't help laughing out loud. David, his face was dark, and he said coldly, I'm looking for Mia, something happened. James, leave by yourself. James the first ignored him and asked me, are you in trouble? No. I smiled at him. You go back first, I'll be back by myself in a while. If you have any problems, call me and I'll call the police for you. Okay. James after leaving, he even walked far away, but he still looked back several times. We've already walked far away, why are you so reluctant to leave? David sarcastically, I looked away and looked at him, what do you want from me? Is it interesting to block me? David he asked me back. Why keep someone you don't care about? I said calmly. You don't even want your son anymore, do you? I glanced at him Benjamin she looked at me eagerly. I smiled and said, he is the one who doesn't want me, and I respect his choice. I didn't want you. Benjamin I quickly said, I want to be with you forever. I walked towards Benjamin seeing that he had obviously gained a lot of weight, he smiled and said, have you forgotten? You said it yourself, you hope Lynn Auntie is your mother. Now she is really your mother, shouldn't you be very happy? Benjamin her eyes were red and she bit her lips as if she was in pain. David no more beating around the bush, Linda I'm pregnant and have pregnancy syndrome, which makes me easily irritable. The doctor said she needs a quiet environment to take care of the baby, so during this period, my son has to live with you. But I'm very busy, the workload in the laboratory is very heavy, and I don't have time to take care of him. And I also have to prepare materials for the doctoral examination. I said embarrassedly. Is your reading more important than my son? David after hearing what I said, he immediately got angry. What's the point of studying at your age? How much money can you make? Isn't the property I give you enough for you to use in your lifetime? Mia, what are you pretending to be here for? I don't want to David I took a deep breath and asked him, David, we have been together for so many years, have I ever done anything to let you down? Why are you suddenly saying this? David I have never done anything to let you down. I have even been very dedicated to you, our son, and our previous family. Now we are divorced, but you insist on having custody, and our son also says he prefers me Linda, I have helped all of you. Now I am living my own life, am I wrong? When did I say you were wrong? Then why do you question my study for a master's degree and a doctorate? Isn't this a critical period? Can't you make a little sacrifice for your son? David it was as if it was natural. Sacrifice? I asked him with a sneer, why do you want me to sacrifice? When we graduated from college together, you said you needed me to start a business with you, so I sacrificed my qualification for postgraduate study. Later, the business was successful and we had a son, and you said I should sacrifice my career and return to the family. Later, we divorced. And I also sacrificed the custody of our son as you wished. Now, you have a new family and don't want your son anymore, and you want me to sacrifice myself to fulfill your happiness. David, don't you think you are shameless? When did I say I didn't want a son? Linda during the pregnancy, you will temporarily help me take care of my son, and I will double the child support. David I was a little upset, and he became more and more emotional. Linda what if I get pregnant and then suffer from postpartum depression? What if I recover from depression and then suffer from neurasthenia? There are so many diseases in this world, and you can always find one or two that suit you. I said sarcastically. Linda she is not that kind of person. She treats her son very well and treats him as her own son. David he said firmly, and naturally understood what I meant. If that's the case, how can my son affect Linda? What about taking care of the fetus? Isn't this contradictory? David I left him speechless and silent for a moment. Benjamin suddenly he asked me sadly, Mom, do you really not want me? He was already 10 years old, and he could actually understand a lot of what I said. I'm not wanting you, it's just because you have Lynn I feel relieved to have you as my new mother. Benjamin said gently. Benjamin I always played the role of the villain in order to help him study well. Now I have no expectations of him and will never say a harsh word to him again. Benjamin he seemed dissatisfied and said, Mom, don't smile at me. I feel like you don't love me anymore when you smile like that. I touched her Benjamin, how could I not love you? I just don't want you to do things you don't like, so as not to ruin you when you grow up. Okay, Mia. David he didn't want to listen to my sarcastic remarks anymore, and probably felt his self-esteem was damaged. After all, he had never been humiliated by me in all these years. Benjamin when he left angrily, he didn't forget to threaten me, since you don't care about our son, I won't ask you anymore. Don't even think about our son recognizing you in the future. I shrugged to show that I didn't care. Anyway, no matter how I treated him, he would not recognize me when he grew up, and would only recognize his own son Lynn Auntie. Why should I go through so much hardship? I live the life I want seriously. Even though I am tired every day, I am happy and have a sense of accomplishment. It turns out that being good to yourself can really make you live a good life. If I were not disturbed occasionally. Today, after I finished a set of experimental data, I saw a dozen unknown missed calls on my silent phone. I called back and the person who answered the phone was David. Mia, come to the hospital, my son was injured in an accident and is in the hospital. I hesitated for a moment, but still went to the hospital. No matter what, Benjamin, after all, they are my biological children, and even if I have no feelings for them, I still have responsibilities. As soon as I walked to the door of the ward, I heard a fierce quarrel inside. Linda screamed, David, how long will it take you to send your son away? If you don't send him away, I will die in his hands, and there will be 2 lives lost. I've already said it, Benjamin, I don't dislike you, why are you picking on him? He fell down the stairs and broke his bones, but you didn't care at all. David, the sound was also very loud. So you want to see me fall down the stairs? If I die, you will have a reason to Mia get back together, your family of 3 can be reunited again. That's enough, Linda, don't make trouble here. Benjamin, you need to take good care of your injuries. David, I lost my patience. Then I will really be unreasonable and show you how unreasonable I am. Linda, anyway, I'm going to say this today. Either you let your son go, or I'll jump off the building with the baby in my belly. Benjamin, he is only 10 years old, where do you want him to go? David, her voice was shaking with anger. I don't care where he goes, I just don't want to see him again. Linda, with a firm attitude, otherwise, you will end up with 2 dead bodies. Linda, he turned to leave, but as soon as he walked out of the ward, he bumped into me. Linda, when he saw me, he was obviously stunned. Linda, I was also stunned. Is this still the slender, tender and youthful girl? With her pregnant belly, I thought she was an elderly mother, but I haven't seen her for 2 years. Mia, what are you doing here? Linda, like a bomb, it explodes on everyone it sees. David, explained Benjamin, he is in hospital, I came to see him. Benjamin still watched David, what? You want to seduce me while I'm pregnant? David, is that right? Is this person sick? But it's not surprising that she goes crazy anytime and anywhere. Although I haven't seen her for the past 2 years, Linda, but I and David, we have been together for so many years and have common friends. Occasionally, I hear friends say that Linda, ever since she knew she was pregnant with a son, she started to act up. David, if there are any good-looking female employees in her company, she will point her finger at them and call them seducers. David, forcing people to resign, nor allowing David go out for social events. If David, she went and ran to David, there was a lot of noise at the dinner party. I don't know how to David, how many big projects have been lost? David, all will be Linda, it drove me crazy. When I heard it, I found it a little funny. How could it drive me crazy? David, I love it so much, Linda. Get out of here. David suddenly came out of the ward, Linda roaring, looking like he wants to eat Linda. Linda, I guess I haven't seen it. David, she was a little scared by his fierce look, but the next moment she puffed out her belly, as if she had gained a lot of confidence. David, if you dare to do anything to let me down, I will die in front of you. Also, you'd better get rid of your son, otherwise I will never let you go. Linda, turn around and leave. David, I was so angry that my body was shaking. I was watching a joke. Do you think I deserved it? David, suddenly she asked me. I put away the smile on my face and said, I won't comment on anything that has nothing to do with me. I didn't expect that after I got pregnant, Linda, he will suddenly become a different person. Linda, I am not interested in what he is doing, so I remind him, I am here to see my son. David, without further ado, I walked in. Benjamin, he was lying on the bed with red eyes, obviously having heard his father and Linda. When he saw me, his eyes lit up instantly and he called me excitedly, Mom. I nodded, not too enthusiastically, and just briefly asked about his situation. Linda, he met him, he said. Linda pushed him down the stairs on purpose, Linda, but he insisted that he didn't want Linda. If he had another child to compete with him for favor, he would. Linda pushing her down the stairs killed the baby in her belly. Linda, in self-defense, he accidentally Benjamin pushed downstairs. Benjamin also said, Linda, she was very mean to him, and her kindness to him before was all fake. Ever since she married his father, she always beat and scolded him secretly, and said he was a wild child who was unwanted by his mother. She always fed him chicken thighs and burgers, and forced him to eat even if he refused, saying that he only deserved to eat such junk food. Benjamin, the more she talked, the more she cried. I listened calmly, and only reminded her indifferently, you shouldn't tell me these things, you should tell your father or your grandmother. They don't believe me, they only believe Lynn Aunt. Benjamin, she cried very sadly, they only care about the baby in her belly and don't care about me at all. They don't love me and they all despise me. Mom, can you let me go with you? I will listen to you and never say bad things about you again. Mom, I know you love me the most. It was all my fault before. I shouldn't have said that to you and shouldn't have hated you. I was wrong. Can you forgive me? Benjamin, he kept crying and crying. He was really afraid that I didn't want him anymore. But I really didn't want him anymore. I pushed his hand away and said gently but distantly, Benjamin, everyone is responsible for their own choices. Lynn, when I was with you, I left your world. But I regret it. I know I was wrong. If you regret it, you should change yourself, not me. I said calmly, and my current life will not change for anyone, especially not for you and me. David, I left indifferently. Benjamin, it is impossible to forgive, and I have never thought about forgiveness. Mia, when did you become so cold-blooded? Benjamin, he is your own son, so you really don't care about him? Don't you feel sorry for him? David, standing at the door of the ward, he questioned me fiercely. I stopped and answered methodically, David, first, I paid him child support every month according to our divorce agreement. I fulfilled my responsibility as a mother and did not ignore him. Second, Benjamin, he is your biological son, and you have the custody. You should take care of your family affairs, Benjamin, have a comfortable living environment. Finally, our marriage broke down because of your cheating and mistakes. You have no right to say, I'm sorry, Benjamin, the one who really feels sorry for him is you. David, I made him blush, and after a while he seemed to have mustered up the courage to ask me, Mia, do you really want me to give in to you? You are doing this just to make me apologize to you and say that I regret divorcing you and marrying you, Linda? Okay, I admit, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been Linda, I shouldn't seduce Linda, you have destroyed our relationship and marriage, and I shouldn't divorce you. David, he said, I promise you I will wait for Linda after she gives birth to the child. The law allows me to divorce Linda, I will get divorced right away and get back together with you. I remained silent because I was really stunned by these words. I don't know how thick-skinned a person must be to say such a thing, and to say it so naturally. I know you have been single for the past 2 years. David then said, you are constantly studying and improving yourself, and you insist on exercising to keep yourself in such a good shape. Isn't it just to let me see it, and to make me regret it? So you think that my current life is for you to see? I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Mia, we are not young anymore, there is no need to go through so much formality, you should stop when you are ahead. I really don't have that much patience. David, he didn't seem to want to talk nonsense with me. He said, I have a large flat in my hand. You and your son can move there first. When I and Linda after the divorce, I will let you move back to the villa. I didn't say anything, just looked at David laugh. David, I was a little angry, why are you laughing? You are so happy? I laughed, how could there be such a shameless person in this world? Mia. David, furious, I don't know where you got the confidence to think I would remarry an irresponsible, promiscuous, arrogant scumbag. Am I sick? You'd better think about what you are talking about. Mia, I'm only giving you a chance to come back for the sake of our son, so don't push your luck. You should leave such a good opportunity to someone else. I can't afford it, and I don't want it. I added, emphasizing each word, stop being so sarcastic here. David, unable to hide my anger, you don't really think that a man would want a woman who is divorced and has a 10-year-old child, and who is in her 30s. They are just playing with you. Which man would really marry a woman like this? Can't you get married a second time? I said sarcastically. Can men and women be the same? A man can return to his right path, but what about a woman? David, contempt to the extreme. So this is David, the reason why he could cheat repeatedly in marriage without restraint, as a man, really made him proud. I won't bother you. Even if no man wants me in this life, I won't consider you again. I refused directly. David, I opened my mouth and said, besides, who says that women must have men to survive? Why can't I be beautiful alone? I live well on my own, why do I have to serve others? Don't I know how to spend money? Don't I know how to enjoy my life? I am missing limbs, so I must find a man? David, I made her blush, and the more I talked, the funnier it became, so she left with a smile. I really don't understand what era this is. David, how can he still take his patriarchy for granted? In his previous life, he must have had his head stuck in a door, so he had to put up with him all his life. David, after the unpleasant parting, he never came to bother me again, and I successfully stayed in school to pursue a doctorate and continued to explore the academic world I loved. David said he would not go, saying that his family was in a mess and it was impossible for him to come, so I agreed to attend. During the dinner, my classmates could not help but gossip. Do you know? David, he was almost killed by his concubine. Then he looked back at me, Mia, you don't mind us talking about your ex-husband, right? You've already said it's your ex-husband, why should I mind? I said with a smile. Then I don't care. The classmate broke the news crazily. David the concubine is a troublemaker, she makes troubles all over the world, relying on her status as a mother and son, and makes all kinds of troubles. David embarrassing himself in front of outsiders, not allowing his company to have good-looking female employees, and causing trouble at his dinner parties. David the company is about to be ruined by her. David the eldest son was driven out of the house to make way for her son, but this is not the point, there is something more explosive. The other students were very curious and asked him, "What is it?" The classmate said with an exaggerated expression, "David the concubine's newly born son was not David, is it true?" "No way." "How was it discovered?" The classmates asked in unison. "Don't we have to test the blood type of the child after it is born?" "His son is type O, David it's AB type, so it's impossible for it to give birth to O-type blood." "David, isn't he furious? Isn't he being cuckolded?" "The key is that his concubine has been relying on this son to do whatever he wants." "David, wouldn't he have to kill his concubine?" The classmate couldn't help but sigh. "I heard that David he almost beat his concubine to death. Now they seem to be going through the divorce process. David he beat up his concubine, and I heard he will be forced to pay a huge sum of money when they divorce." I listened to it from the side, and I would be lying if I said I didn't feel happy. My roommate asked me with a smile, listening to the gossip, "Do you think it's worth coming to the class reunion?" I nodded, indeed, it makes people feel good. However, when the class reunion was about to end, no one expected David suddenly appeared. After talking about him all night, everyone was a little embarrassed to see the person involved. "Is it over?" David, looking very calm. "It's over." The squad leader said quickly, "Sorry, I'm late for something." "It's okay, we'll get together next time." The squad leader said bluntly. In the past, he might have organized to accompany David, now it's over. David without saying much, the classmates left one after another. I had drunk a little, so I didn't drive. I stood on the side of the road and hailed a taxi. "I'll take you there." David rolled down the car window. "No thanks." I refused. "Let's go, it's on our way." "Really?" David, I had no choice but to stop the car and walk in front of me. I pretended not to see him. "Linda, it's a joke." David asked me. I just heard about it. I didn't hide it. After all, it was really funny. Linda officially divorced. David, look at me. I ignored him. After all, I have no interest in things that have nothing to do with me. Last time, I was not sincere enough. David, suddenly he said to me in a low voice, "In fact, I regretted it a long time ago, but I just couldn't bring myself to beg you." I looked at him and found it very funny. "Can you bring yourself to beg me now? Could it be that no one wants you suddenly? But isn't a man a prodigal son who returns to his true love more valuable than gold?" "Mia, I admit that I was a little too harsh before, but I really didn't want to hurt you. I just didn't know what method I should use to get you to come back to me, so I resorted to provocation." "David, thank you for your provocation. It has made me find you even more disgusting." David, his face turned red and white at the same time, and he said, "Mia, I'm sorry, I really know I was wrong. I swear, I will never do anything to let you down again. Let's start over. You, me, and our son, we are a family of 3. How could he have the nerve to say the words a family of 3? I almost trembled when I heard them. "Come home with me." David, he reached out to pull me, but I avoided it perfectly. David, a little embarrassed, "My son is still waiting for us at home. He has been wanting to see you for the past few years and he regrets what he said to you. In fact, not only my son, I also regret it, so can you forgive us once?" "No." I shook my head and gave a very affirmative answer. "Mia, why should I forgive you just because you regret it? What do I have to endure? What do I have to endure? What do I have to endure?" I asked him with a sneer. "What do you mean by a lifetime?" David, some of them didn't understand, so I didn't need to explain. He said coldly, "From the moment we divorced, it was completely over between us. You don't have to waste time looking for me, and you don't have to use our son to make peace. It's useless. Not only is it useless, I also find you annoying because you affect my life. Are you worried that I won't really change?" David asked me. "It has nothing to do with me. If it were me, I would also be worried." David, he seemed to understand me very well, and he said, "I'll show you." "How clear should I be?" "I will not get back together with you." "Don't you stay single forever?" "David, I have decided that I am single just to wait for him to change his ways." I am powerless to explain. David, he was too confident. He thought that if he looked back, I would be waiting for him. Whatever he wanted, one day, he would find that I had already gone far away, and he could not catch up with me, and he could not be worthy of me. Half a year later, a university celebrated its centennial anniversary. All university students could come back to participate in the celebration. The school was very lively. As an outstanding graduate of the school, I stood on the podium in the auditorium. The audience was full of people, including David. He probably couldn't believe that I would stand on such a dazzling and important podium, and on the big screen behind me were all my achievements in the academic world over the years, which would allow me to leave a permanent mark in the century-old history of the school. After my speech, the audience burst into thunderous applause, and I seemed to hear someone shouting, "Senior sister is great." I smiled and bowed and left. Walking on the school campus, many students came to me to take pictures with me and ask for my autograph. After finally sending away waves of students, I saw David with a lot of growth. Benjamin appeared in front of me. "Benjamin," I said excitedly, "Mom, I just saw your speech in the auditorium. I am so proud of you." "David, everyone around me said you were amazing." I smiled faintly, thanked him politely, and then turned around and prepared to leave. "Mia." "David," she called me nervously. I turned to look at him, and he was still looking at me with surprise, as if he didn't know when I started to change, and became completely different from the middle-aged woman who only cared about him and his son. He said sincerely, "You are really amazing today. I didn't expect you to have such great achievements in the academic world. So, do you have self-awareness?" I asked him with a sneer. David, there was a hint of embarrassment on his face, but he quickly hid it. He said, "I don't want to get back together with you because of your current achievements. I didn't know about it before, and I was always asking for it. I know you've always resented me for betraying you." "David," he said in a panic, as if he finally realized that I seemed to be getting further and further away from him. He said excitedly, "In fact, I have always liked you. I was Linda. There is only the novelty and the vanity of men, but I have never thought about divorcing you from the beginning to the end. Linda, it's all just a joke." I felt like I had heard the biggest joke of my life and the one before it, but I didn't interrupt him. "David," she said with deep regret, "the reason why I always wanted the custody of my son was to avoid divorcing you, because I knew you couldn't bear to part with my son. But I didn't expect that you would really give up the custody, and I was in a dilemma and had to bite the bullet and agree to the divorce. But after the divorce, I never thought about getting divorced. Linda, I've been waiting for you to come back, and Linda, we used contraceptive measures when we went to bed, and I never thought about getting her pregnant. So, I also want to thank you for being so kind to me that you wore a condom when you went to bed with others even though you cheated on me physically and mentally." Linda, I didn't think much about it when she said she was pregnant. I never doubted it at all. Linda, I thought it was because I didn't take good enough contraceptive measures. David, still unable to conceal his anger, he paused for several seconds before speaking again. "Linda, when they insisted that I give her a name, I actually didn't agree. Do you remember that night when I called you? As long as you said you didn't want me to marry you, Linda, I would not marry her, but you said nothing. I got angry and agreed to marry her. Linda, on the wedding day, I was still waiting for you to stop the wedding. If you came, I would definitely choose you, but you didn't. I can only Linda." I listened. David, it is hard to judge what he said about his love for me. He continued in agony, "Linda, after marriage, Linda, she made me a laughingstock in the entire business circle. Only then did I truly realize how good you were and how tolerant you were to me. I even wanted to get back together with you right away, Linda, divorce, and get back together with you, but she's been pregnant, and the law doesn't allow me to divorce her, so I hope you can wait for me, and even want to use our son to make you change your mind, but you keep rejecting me. Do you know how scared I am? I'm really scared that I'll never get you back." David, his eyes were red. But I thought it was ridiculous. At least, I didn't feel that he was afraid at all. He was still high and mighty in front of me. Later, Linda, I was furious when my son was born, but he was not mine, but I was also relieved. I could finally get married to him right away, Linda, divorce and be with you. David, looking at me, his eyes were full of expectation. "Mia, I'm sorry, I was so wrong. From now on, if I do anything to let you down again, I will cut off my legs. Mom, I will listen to you and never hurt you again." "Benjamin." I looked at them, father and son, their regret, their deep affection, their expectations, but I remained indifferent. David, seeing that I didn't react, he said again, "Mia, come back to us, okay? Let us make up for the harm we have done to you, okay?" "No need." I shook my head. "I have healed those injuries a long time ago. I don't need you, and I don't care about you. Mia, don't you think you are not worthy of me now?" I interrupted him, mocking his self-righteousness. "Yes, but why do I have to pick up rags when I am so outstanding?" I asked him with a smile, not giving him any face at all. His face was a little red, probably because of shame, but he still didn't give up. He said, "Mia, haven't you always been single? So being single became the reason why he believed that I would come back to him. I smiled and looked away. James he walked quickly to my side and naturally held me in his arms, clearly waiting impatiently for me to greet him. David, Benjamin she greeted him, my ex-husband and my eldest son. David eyes staring closely James the arms around my waist. Mia, are you going to find a random man just to reject me? Not just any random man. I know David I wanted to say something, but I lost my patience, so I said bluntly, I was single for so many years because I thought it was good to be alone. Now I am no longer single because I think this man is good, so good that I am willing to start a new marriage with him. I looked at David with an expression that was difficult to accept, he added, so, whether I am single or not has nothing to do with you. It's just my own choice. In my heart, you are just an ex-husband. After saying this, I and James embracing each other and leaving James suddenly he turned around and said, Mia pregnant with twins. He knows how to kill people. I didn't look back. David and Benjamin the expression of Benjamin with a crying voice, asked David, do mom and dad really not want us this time? Yes. David he suppressed his voice and said, I really don't want it anymore. I haven't wanted it for a long time. He was the only one who had been deceiving himself.